Other targets last night included the power station in the northern city of Novi Sad, sending a spectacular orange fireball into the night sky. This is the 14th day of NATO bombardments, and for only the third time, RAF Harrier jets successfully completed their bombing mission. Clear skies also allowed targets to be hit: an oil refinery near the Hungarian border and a railway bridge over the Danube River. NATO is now aiming to cut the Yugoslav military's lines of supply and transport: roads, bridges, airports, fuel depots and command centres. According to Serb news agency reports, several missiles again blasted a barracks at Prizren, Kosovo's second largest city. They say NATO missiles also hit a communications relay station near the provincial capital Pristina and blasted targets on the main road from Kosovo to central Serbia. There have been claims from the Serbs that they had downed another stealth bomber overnight, but the Allies say all planes returned safely from their missions. Meanwhile, hundreds of weak and exhausted Kosovo refugees landed in western Turkey last night, the start of a planned airlift across Europe and North America of thousands ejected from their homes by Yugoslav forces. Many were still wearing what they had left Kosovo in days ago, when they walked into the small airbase at Korlu. Processing stations were set up. Turkey has pledged to accommodate up to 20,000 refugees.
Good afternoon. The government is today denying there is any rift between ministers over the Kosovo refugee crisis. Britain is one of the nations pledging support for those fleeing the province, saying thousands will be airlifted to this country if necessary. But in Macedonia, the Overseas Development Minister, Claire Short, appeared to be at odds with the official line. She said it was irrelevant to discuss flying refugees to Britain. Here's Paul Davis.
The government faces a dilemma. Having said it will give temporary sanctuary in Britain to some of the Kosovar refugees to ease the current crisis, it has opened a debate over whether taking in these desperate and displaced people is effectively helping Slobodan Milosevic achieve his aim of redrawing the ethnic map of the region. This morning, the Foreign Secretary set out Britain's aim.
Britain has already taken 10,000 refugees from Kosovo. Only Germany has taken more. Jack Straw has committed Britain to taking some thousands more, and he will be attending a special meeting in Luxembourg on Wednesday to discuss Europe's response to the refugee crisis.
But International Development Secretary Claire Short, who's visiting refugee camps in Macedonia, appears not to have been briefed on the government's new position. Today she said that transporting people out of the Balkans was doing exactly what Milosevic wants. She wants more help to be concentrated on the camps that are being built in Macedonia, Montenegro and Albania. Today she saw for herself that people are dying for want of aid.
I mean, if you look, Minister, they're bringing out another body right below you. Yeah. Can the Minister have a look? I mean, that's what it's like down there.
I know. The military told me yesterday they provided 80 body bags and it wasn't enough.
Britain is not alone in offering to take in some of these people. Other NATO countries have agreed to give temporary sanctuary. Germany will take 40,000 refugees. Norway will take 6,000. The United States has agreed to take 20,000 Kosovars, while Greece will give refuge to another 5,000. But the vast majority of this displaced people will be remaining just outside Kosovo's borders. As part of the international operation to care for them, American troops have been loading helicopters with more food and blankets to be flown under armed escort to where the aid is now desperately needed. Paul Davis, ITN.
National operation is underway to ease the plight of the refugees fleeing Kosovo. A sanctuary is to be set up in Macedonia to house up to 100,000 ethnic Albanians who've left the province. Troops are also being sent to help people escaping to Albania. From there, Tom Bradby reports.
The only thing you can be certain of on the Albanian border is that there are many thousands more to come, perhaps hundreds of thousands. Albania only has a population of just over 3 million, and the sparsely populated north is being swamped. For the moment, the local people here are doing everything they can, but no one can or wants to guess at the long-term consequences of this. If there are many still out in the open here, the situation is worse in Macedonia, where refugees are fighting to survive. Stuck out in the open, often in the freezing rain, they try to protect their young. The weak, the injured, the sick wait hours for medical care. In both countries, aid officials say they're doing their best, but don't believe the international response has been anything like adequate. Macedonia has agreed to the setting up of an international sanctuary inside its border to look after 100,000 refugees. But the numbers in Albania rise by the day, and it wants urgent answers from international political leaders as to how they are going to help this country cope. Tom Babby, ITN on the Albania-Kosovo border.